One thing about jerks before I move on. Everyone who isn't mentioned as a main character is a jerk. There is one person who isn't a jerk, and he gets killed. Probably for not being a jerk. But let me get into the setting, okay? You have Corp. Now, Corp is kind of this pseudo-militaristic. They were the ones who had the project to create superhumans, and then they trained them up, and then they influenced their lives, however brief they may be. But the problem is, yeah, okay, so you have this huge corporation dealing with superheroes, licensing, this, that, and the other, and giving them kind of an APB and some training and stuff. But it seems more like ideas thrown up against a wall as opposed to some sort of cohesive training militaristic complex for superheroes and superheroines. It's just like the entire thing is built just to fit the needs of this story, this very bad story, and it's like broken apart and jumbled and only put in places I'm not quite sure, really. But anyway, let's talk about the setting itself. Chicago. It's supposed to be Chicago in USA, maybe? Here's the problem. There's always these little footnotes beforehand, but all they really talk about is the Corp's, influence in the programs before to create the superhumans. Okay, that's all well and good, but what about this Chicago? I mean, okay, so it's not part of the USA. Is there some sort of fiefdom? The mayor in this city seems to have some sort of clout. Is he like a feudal warlord? Was there a war? You're not told any of this, and this would have really built the whole science fiction aspect of this if you gave me a little background about where these people are romping around in. Speaking of the future, I can't really see too much of it. The only thing you're really told is that there are vibro knives, and there are some sort of not even laser guns, but plasma guns. Yes, everything is a plasma gun in this thing. Well, while that is a more logical thing than a laser to use as a handheld weapon, it just doesn't make any sense. It's just jarring when it comes out at you and says, oh, and he had a laser gun, or he has a holovid, or they have flying cars. It really doesn't matter in context of the story. So why bother with a science fiction element if you're not going to use it? I don't know. Anyway, a place where space and time have no meaning. These people are bouncing around everywhere. It's like I have a much easier time keeping my players in a boardless D&D game together than the characters in this thing. It's like they all have Jason Voorhees' teleportation thing every once in a while. Wherever the character needs to be, there they are. Ugh.